Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be exploring three powerful Chinese language lesbian and GL films and series that you absolutely need to add to your watch list. These stories come from different regions, different cultures, and different time periods, but they all share one thing in common: emotional depth, complex relationships, and beautifully told sapphic narratives that stay with you long after the screen goes dark. So let's get straight into it, starting from number 1. Girlfriends, 2025. Girlfriends is a semi-autobiographical coming-of-age film that follows a woman through three key stages of her life: her school years in Macau, her university life in Taiwan, and her later struggles in Hong Kong. At first glance, it may look like a lesbian or GL story, but it is more accurately a reflection of emotional growth, identity, and memory. The sapphic elements exist, but they are subtle, more like emotional mirrors than full romantic storylines. What makes this film interesting is how it uses the women she meets at different stages of her life to reflect her internal development. Each relationship represents a different version of herself, shaped by confusion, ambition, loneliness, and self-discovery. However, the emotional focus is heavily placed on the main character's personal journey, which means some of the relationships feel less developed than others. Still, the film carries a strong sense of nostalgia and emotional sincerity. By the end, even with its imperfections, Girlfriends leaves you with a quiet emotional impact, especially in the final school-era sequences where memory, regret, and tenderness all come together in a very human way. 2. Blind Love, 2025. Blind Love is a psychological and emotionally charged story about desire, memory, and transformation. The film follows a woman who appears to have a stable family life until she unexpectedly reconnects with her first love from high school. What starts as a quiet reunion slowly develops into something deeper, more obsessive, and emotionally consuming. One of the most important elements of this film is its blindness motif. As the protagonist begins to lose her sight, the story becomes less about what is real and more about what is felt. Reality becomes unstable. Desire becomes confusing. Memory becomes unreliable. This creates a psychological tension that elevates the story beyond a simple romance. It becomes a reflection on identity, emotional dependency, and how past relationships can resurface and reshape a person's present life. Even though it is still largely within the festival circuit, Blind Love is already being discussed as one of the most anticipated Chinese-language sapphic films of recent years. Fragrance of the First Flower, 2021 to 2025. Fragrance of the First Flower is one of the most important Taiwanese GL series in recent years. The story follows Yiming, a married mother whose life begins to shift when she reunites with her former school junior, Ting Ting. What once was an innocent connection slowly reopens emotional wounds that were never fully healed. The series is powerful because it does not treat love as simple or convenient. Instead, it explores emotional conflict, responsibility, and identity. Yiming is constantly caught between her present life and her past feelings, and the show does not rush her decisions. What makes this series stand out is its emotional realism. It shows how love can reappear at the wrong time, in the wrong situation, and still feel completely real. It also explores how deeply cultural expectations and family responsibilities shape personal desire in Asian societies. And that brings us to the end of today's recommendations. These three films and series show very different sides of Chinese-language sapphic storytelling, from personal growth and psychological desire to emotional conflict and rediscovered love. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more lesbian and GL movie recommendations from around the world. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.